everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home and welcome to Messy Kitchen Monday. Happy November. I don't know about where you are, but we finally had some fall weather at the end of last week and this weekend, and now it's going to be back in the 70s again. So that's your weather forecast for South Alabama. Anyway, we are nonetheless excited that it's November because it is our favorite time of year. I, like my beloved Daddy Joe, my granddaddy, love Thanksgiving possibly more than any other holiday. And it's just because there's no gifts involved. There's no really any engagement that you have to do. Like, you don't have to go here or there. It's just family and friends getting together to share a good meal and to just kind of love on one another. So in my mind, I think that it's the perfect holiday. And we've already had technical difficulty. The dogs have broken into the kitchen, and there goes Jasper. And here comes Millie. Yay, it's an early Thanksgiving miracle. You never know what you're going to get on Messy Kitchen Monday. Never. So you might get so much more than food prep. Hold on, we're trying to get them situated. They were really happy to break into the kitchen because they see me at the stove and they like to come and just kind of hang around at my feet. I don't know what that says about me, what kind of cook I am. I'm probably messy. Or they're hopeful. They're full of hope. Our dogs are full of hope. Nonetheless, we are going to shake up Thanksgiving this month, and I'm so excited because I'm going to share some of the very best Thanksgiving recipes that we love here at the Buttered Home. And tonight is nothing short of miraculous. Now, I'm just going to tell you, this is a recipe I did last year, but that I did not feature on the blog. So we've been doing things a little bit different this year as far as how we feature our recipes and we share them with you. We kind of like to keep everything kind of in line. So we had a really good time doing this one, and there are some absolutely beautiful pictures that Big D and myself both took that will be on that blog post later this week. So never fear, you might not get all the measurements tonight, but you'll get the gist of how to make it anyway. And Tanner and I are both using our phones tonight, so she will not be able to field comments. You can stick your hand up and wave to everybody. Well, they didn't see you on Instagram. She's over to the side, so she'll try to watch comments as best she can. But never fear, if you have a question, go ahead and ask it in the comments, and we'll come back to you after we're done at the very least.
Heath Polk said that Big D says hello.
Hey, Big D. Hey, Heath. Y'all behave together if you can. Anyway, they are working together tonight, and we are out of sorts because Big D usually takes care of one of our cameras and the dogs, so we're a little lost without you, Danny, so just letting you know that. Anyway, let's get started. Y'all have heard me ramble and giggle enough. Unless what you're really here for is the cooking, right? So let's get started. Tonight we're going to show you how to make homemade cranberry sauce. And what we're going to start with is about a 12-ounce bag of real cranberries. Whoops, and I dropped one. Two? Did I drop two? Or just put them on the counter? There goes Tanner. Anyway, these are cheap. You can get a 12-ounce bag of them fresh, organic, at most grocery stores for less than $1.50, and literally you have really some good stuff that you probably already have in your pantry to add to it to make some really good, really fresh homemade cranberry sauce. And what I like to do is how to show you to make it traditional, as well as in the blog post we have instructions on how to make it in your pressure cooker. So if you have one of the handy dandy electric pressure cookers at home, we have all of the good ways that you can make it there too. But tonight we're going to just be showing you the stovetop method because you kind of get to see a little bit more with it that you don't in the pressure cooker. So I'm gonna make you a little seasick and move the cameras, and we're gonna get started. So y'all just bear with me and make sure that I can see us on Facebook. There we go. We look good. All right, we look good. So in a saucepan here, I have a 12-ounce bag of fresh cranberries. And to that, we're just gonna add a few simple ingredients, mainly sugar. Cranberries, if you've ever bitten into one raw, they're a little sour. So the sugar kind of helps bring out the natural sweetness. So we're gonna start this off at medium to high heat and get those coated in that sugar. And then we're gonna add in some orange juice. And well, it would be water, except I did not put the water in here. So hang on with me just a second. We're gonna throw that water in. And it's not a lot, just a little, just to make a good little simple syrup with that sugar and that orange juice. All right, so we got them good and coated. And to this, we're gonna add in 1 strip of orange zest, and try your best not to get any of the pith in there, and just throw that in, and 1 whole cinnamon stick. Now to this, we're gonna add just a little bit of salt, because if you know anything, you know that salt makes sweet things sweeter. And I know this seems a little odd, but we're gonna add in just a little bit of black pepper. Now I'm gonna crank my heat up on that, because we wanna bring this to a boil. Now before we do, I'm going to throw in the secret ingredient. And since Danny's not here, well, he's watching, so I might as well just full disclosure. I got some really good bourbon right here. Sorry, Danny, you're not here, so we're gonna be using your good bourbon, and we're just gonna toss that in. Oh, and it smells good. The bourbon with that sugar and that cinnamon and that orange peel. And then we're gonna crank that heat up so that we can get it to boiling. Now this is really simple. All you do is just put everything together and you start it to boil. Now, what will happen is the cranberries, they're almost hollow sounding, but they are pretty meaty on the inside. I probably should have popped one open so you guys could have seen it before we got started. But they're real light and airy, but they have some really good fleshy fruit material inside of them. So what happens is, just like any other berry, once the heat and the sugar gets to them, those skins are gonna kind of give way to that flesh expanding in there, and then that flesh inside of the berries is going to cook and get soft and release natural sugars, and the sugar in the simple syrup and the bourbon are going to enhance the flavor, and then they'll become soft and almost macerated. And macerated means that they just are kind of cooked through and soft. So we are going to check, and our heat is starting to come up. Now there's one more thing that I have to mention that this would not be complete without, but it's the step that you do after they've cooked and you've kind of mashed them and gotten that pulp out of them and all, is you add in some really good honey. Now you want to do this after the berries have cooled, and that's for 2 very important reasons. One is, if you didn't know it already, honey is full of great things, vitamins, nutrients that are really good for you on so many different levels. And if James Tucker is watching with us tonight, he is the proprietor of Old Magnolia Honey here local to me. And he could tell us what all the good things honey does, because, of course, right off the top of my head, I cannot remember. But whenever you sometimes cook honey, you lose a little bit of that. So the honey is for sweetness and for the good stuff in it. So you want to add it after this mixture has already cooled. So you add the honey then, and then it adds just a little bit more natural sweetness to the cranberry sauce. All right, let me fish these dudes out of here so you can kind of see what's going on. See, the flesh on that is starting to break, and that pulp is starting to kind of come through. So this will all happen really quickly. I mean, really, really, really quickly. And that's why we're doing it kind of live, start to finish tonight. Well, not completely finished, because I want to add my honey at the right time, and it's not going to have time to cool. But you can start to see that flesh start to burst open on all of these. And now, just so you know, a large portion of that, the alcohol in that bourbon has already cooked off. Like, I don't even smell it anymore. But what you're left with are the sugars in that bourbon, and the taste is infused into the berries. And the pepper, while it seems a bit weird, it kind of helps cut the sweetness of all the sweet stuff that you put in here. So it adds just a little bit of something that you can't quite put your finger on. You'll just have to trust me on that one. I know y'all hear me say that a lot. I can't give you a scientific good reason for it. You just have to trust me. All right, so now we are cooking with gas. I can start to kind of take these and mash them up against the side of the pot here to kind of help things along. And you'll hear them kind of pop. Or if you didn't want to do that, you could always take another spoon and kind of mash them together. Now, I like a good chunky cranberry sauce. However, if you are not a fan of a chunky cranberry sauce, because I'm going to tell you, the skins on these are very tender. Like, you won't get a waxy mouthful of skin if you keep the skins in here. But if you didn't want to, if weird texture is kind of your thing, then you can actually run this through like a fine mesh strainer or a sieve and get rid of those skins if you wanted to. However, I think it makes a prettier sauce and certainly a little more texture, because later this month we're going to show you some really fun things you can do with your leftover cranberry sauce. All right, so we're coming to a really good boil here. And I'm going to continue to kind of mash some of these berries. See, they're not even really popping anymore. Oh, and it smells so good. So you're going to cook this for 3 to 5 minutes, just until all that natural pectin comes out of the berries and starts to thicken. And you will be able to see that happen in the boiling process. And I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to run this wooden spoon through it and do the test with my finger. And you'll see here, I don't know if you can or not, but where I swiped, it's still kind of standing thick on both sides. So it's not bleeding into that portion. So at this point, y'all, it's ready. Literally, it is quite ready. You can actually pull that up and see the thick syrup in there that it's made. Now, of course, before you jar this, you're going to cool it completely, add your honey, and then fish out your cinnamon stick and your orange. I was trying to find him. And there they are right there. But I like to let mine cool with them in there. just because it's good flavor components. All right, so I'm gonna turn this down because you can actually see how good and thick that is. And as it cools, it's only going to get thicker. I didn't add any Sure Gel. I didn't add anything to this. What made it thicken was the fruit and all the sugar, as well as the natural sugars that we've included in there with the orange juice, as well as the bourbon. So I'm going to move the camera, so y'all bear with me. Let's get it situated. Sorry you get a close-up. And I have some here finished already that we made not that long ago. And I want you to look how pretty it is. I know Facebook Live and Instagram Live really don't do it that much justice. But it smells wonderful. You want a big mouthful, Tanner? But it's great. And this will totally keep. So if you wanted to do it now, it would keep fine in the refrigerator, or you could freeze it and then thaw it and have it for Thanksgiving. Now this is totally something that you could do ahead of time and use it for so many things. I didn't have any dressing made, so I just got a little cracker to put it on so that you can see how shiny and pretty it is. And that's one of the things that the honey does too, is it actually helps give it a little sheen and a little shine. Because after you boil it and let it cool, it tends to be a little matte. So the honey adds a little extra luster to it. And it's fantastic. I'm putting the whole thing in my mouth. See, I could eat that for a snack. Put a little cheese, sharp cheddar cheese on that cracker with that sauce. It's fantastic. So, I challenge you, have everything at Thanksgiving be completely homemade. Right down to this. It's too easy. Y'all, we did it in less than 15 minutes because all this guy's got to do is just cool, get the honey, and go into a jar. And it's done. And you're all set for Thanksgiving. So I challenge you, this, like all of our other recipes this month, are going to be fantastic ideas to help you shake up Thanksgiving and have it completely homemade at your house. So if you have any questions, I'm going to get to those afterward. But y'all, be here next Monday night because I'm going to show you how to make, not my mama's, but homemade cornbread dressing. I'm going to dispel all of your preconceived notions of it being hard, of it being difficult. I'm going to show you how to make cornbread dressing that is perfect and it is the way that you like it. So invite your friends to be here at 7:30 so that they can see why cornbread dressing is better than stuffing and that it's easier than you might have ever thought it was before. So we invite you to be here next Monday night because, gosh, we have 2 more big, great things. I got a huge surprise for you at the end of the month. And I'm gonna, let's see, what kind of hints can I give?
I don't know what you're doing. Oh.
What kind of hints can I give? I need to give a hint every week.
I don't know. That's on you. I'm not creative enough.
Anyway, I'll be thinking about that on some hints I can come up with for y'all next month for our huge surprise dish at the end of the month. Well, it's a piece of a dish. Anyway, we hope you'll be here next Monday and the Monday after and the Monday after and the Monday after. If you are a Buttered Home subscriber, then you will get this recipe and so many more directly to your inbox before anybody else. If you're not on Facebook, go to the top of the page and there's a sign up button. If you're on Instagram, go to our link in bio and there's a nice little box where you can sign up to get the newsletter so you can get all of our recipes first before everybody else. So from the Buttered Home to your home, as usual, we love y'all. Bye-bye.